out to better protect them and provide redress when they get cheated out of their money. Thank you.
Senator Warnock of Georgia is recognized.
Thank you so very much, Chair Brown, and it's been a real honor serving with you on this committee. Thank you for recommending me to serve. And I feel like we've done a lot of great work together over the past 4 years. You're an incredible example of public service. I want to echo what Senator Van Hollen has said. Thank you for putting the housing and the urban affairs back in this committee. I can't say enough about your leadership and grateful for your friendship. Thank you so very much, Director Chopra. It's always good to see you. Thank you for all of the actions that you've taken to improve the financial lives of all Americans. You really have been an advocate and champion for the people. Under your leadership, the CFPB has returned more than $6 billion to harm consumers. $6 billion. You've been focused on reducing excessive junk fees, ensuring student loan companies are not taking advantage of borrowers, and putting money back in the pockets of hardworking Americans. I see the impact of this work up close, not only as a senator, but as a pastor. And as someone who had to depend on these student loans to get through my own education, I know the importance of the work that you do. I especially commend your extensive work to protect consumers in rural communities and underserved communities. And this is critical work that must continue during the next administration. I also look forward to working with our incoming chair, Senator Scott, on issues we both care about, like ensuring access to affordable housing and expanding economic opportunity for working families. I look forward to working with Chairman Scott. Director Chopra, when you appeared before this committee in June, we discussed the consequences of medical debt, especially for those who are living in rural communities. A medical emergency can literally just change people's lives in deeply consequential ways. And that's why yesterday, Chair Brown and I sent you a letter emphasizing the importance of finalizing the CFPB's proposed rule to block medical debt from appearing on most Americans' credit reports. I think this is so critical and so important. It's an issue that you and I have worked closely on. Medical debt is often unanticipated, it's unplanned, and it can be high even if someone is insured. In a word, it's something that could happen to any one of us. It could happen to anybody. Medical debt also disproportionately affects those living in states like Georgia, where Medicaid has not yet been expanded. Director Chopra, how would the CFPB's proposed medical debt rule protect Americans from the unfair consequences of medical debt on their credit report, and why is this rule so important?
Well, when I think of especially about, you mentioned rural areas in Georgia, you may know that there are people who have a serious emergency and sometimes need to have an air ambulance. And that air ambulance, they don't get to shop around. They get the one that is available, or even just a regular ambulance. It's not something that you search online and choose. And what happens is they sometimes are in situations where their insurance company, and there's in-network, out-of-network, they get enormous amounts of debt, and medical issues are a huge driver of bankruptcy, including in rural areas. We do not want our healthcare system leading to people being financially ruined. And I think our efforts and our proposed rule to restrict how some of that information gets on credit reports, we don't want there being further impacts on higher rates on loans, not passing an employment verification check, not being able to get an apartment. We shouldn't be kicking people when they're down, and we shouldn't let debt collectors weaponize that credit reporting system.
Thank you so much. There's so much more I could say about this, but I want to quickly get to another topic. In July of last year, I held a hearing in my Consumer Protection Subcommittee on unfair overdraft fees charged by some banks, shedding light on how these unnecessary fees harm Americans' wallets. Last week, the CFPB announced it would begin to send refund checks to Americans who were charged illegal junk fees by a group of credit repair companies. How much money will this put back in Americans' pockets?
Just that one action, I believe, is about $2 billion. And I think we sent over 240,000 checks just to Georgia.
That's right. $2 billion, 240,000 checks to Georgia, equaling more than $103 million. This decision should be a warning, it seems to me, to any financial services company that is illegally charging junk fees to any consumer. What lasting change do you think aggressive enforcement like this will have?
Well, we need to make sure that not only are we catching it when it's happening, but we're stopping it before it takes place. It's why we've done other work to put into place stronger safeguards to stop illegal junk fees from permeating the American consumer.
Thank you so much for your work. I look forward to you finalizing the rulemaking on this issue, and we look forward to the work that we will do ahead in protecting consumers.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Senator Warnock. Senator Schiff, welcome. And you're Senator Schiff from California. Glad you're here.
Chairman, thank you.